Trump threw every criticism he could. Obama waited. And with just a few calm words, he turned loud arrogance into silence, reminding everyone watching what genuine truth sounds like. The evening opens with a restless energy in the room. The studio is completely full, every seat taken, lights reflecting off curious faces. People have gathered from different places, guided by one expectation. Tonight they will witness something memorable. This isn't a typical talk show. It's a live debate between two of the most influential figures in recent American history. On one side sits Barack Obama, steady and composed as always, hands folded, eyes focused yet warm. On the other side sits Donald Trump, the current president, confident in expression and firm in posture, every movement intended to command attention. The contrast is clear. One leader quiet and thoughtful, the other outspoken and certain. Before a single word is exchanged, you can already sense the collision of two very different worlds. The audience feels it too. There's a strong current of energy. Part excitement, part unease. Some watchers cheer softly, others sit stiff and alert, eyes fixed on the stage. Everyone knows this won't be casual conversation. This will be a clash of viewpoints, beliefs, and personalities. The host steps forward, trying to keep his tone neutral, though a slight tremble shows in his voice. "Good evening, everyone," he begins with a nervous smile. "Tonight, we have two remarkable guests who hardly need an introduction. Former President Barack Obama, and the current President of the United States, Donald Trump." The crowd applauds loudly, some with admiration, some with tension. When the noise settles, the host continues. "We're here to discuss the major challenges facing America right now. Inflation, jobs, housing, and the everyday struggles that millions of families experience." He turns to Trump first. "Mr. President, let's begin with you. What do you think is the biggest issue Americans face today?" Trump adjusts his jacket and leans forward with a familiar confident smile. "Well," he begins, voice full of certainty, "it's simple. Our country was doing incredibly well before. Better than ever. But the problems we're facing now didn't appear out of nowhere." He pauses for effect. "They came from before my time, from people who didn't handle their responsibilities properly." He doesn't mention Obama by name, but he doesn't need to. Everyone understands who he's referring to. His words aim directly across the stage. He continues talking about the economy, rising living costs, and the difficulties Americans face with food, gas, and housing. But every point ends the same way, with blame pointed backward. "The truth," Trump says, "is that I've had to clean up the mess left behind by leaders who said they cared about the people but didn't deliver." His tone grows stronger, his hands emphasizing his words. "They made big promises and left the country with weak policies and broken systems. They talked. I act. That's the difference." The crowd reacts. Some cheer, others whisper among themselves. Some agree with his words, while others appear uneasy. It's clear he's not simply answering a question. He's directing his remarks at someone. Trump smirks slightly as he continues. "Say whatever you want, but the facts are obvious. We're dealing with the consequences of poor leadership from the past. Leadership that let down American workers, weakened our borders, and harmed our future. And everyone knows exactly who I mean." A brief silence holds the room. Cameras turn to Obama, who remains steady and calm. No reaction, no movement. His hands stay folded as he listens, his stillness creating a sense of quiet strength, like someone accustomed to pressure who knows that patience can speak louder than anger. Trump leans back, appearing satisfied, and softens his tone. "I respect everyone who came before me," he says, pretending to ease the criticism. But the truth is, not everyone was good at their job. Some in the audience laugh awkwardly, and even the host looks toward Obama with uncertainty. The tension grows heavier. The host clears his throat, keeping his tone steady. "Thank you, Mr. President." Strong points. Then he turns to the other side of the stage. "Now, President Obama, your response?" The camera zooms in on Obama. He gives a small thoughtful nod, though he hasn't spoken yet. That brief silence speaks volumes. The audience leans forward. Trump watches closely, a faint grin on his face, expecting Obama to defend himself. But Obama doesn't look defensive. He looks measured and fully in control. Even before he speaks, there's a sense that something meaningful is about to follow. Obama adjusts the microphone slightly, looks toward the audience, and says calmly, "Let's talk about the real issues." The room falls silent again. No one moves. "I know people are frustrated," Obama continues, his voice steady and clear. "I know prices are high, and families are struggling to buy homes, keep steady work, and build security." He pauses briefly. But leadership isn't about finding someone else to blame. It's about taking responsibility and offering real solutions. Even within his opening lines, it becomes obvious that this won't turn into an exchange of insults. He is aiming for something more meaningful. Trump leans forward slightly, eyes narrowing, annoyed that Obama didn't react to his earlier comments. The host glances between them, almost hesitant to interrupt. The tension hangs in the air like a quiet warning. The crowd feels it too. Everyone focuses on Obama, waiting to see how he'll respond to the challenge, wondering if the calm expression will break, but it doesn't. Instead, Obama takes a slow breath and speaks not like a politician defending his record, but like someone addressing the country directly. And at that moment, the energy in the room shifts completely. What began as a confident monologue from Trump is turning into something entirely different. Something the audience won't forget. The crowd is still. Even the air feels still. Every person watches Obama. He sits upright, composed, yet there's a steady strength behind his posture, the kind that makes people pay attention before he even starts. He adjusts the microphone once more, his movements controlled and unhurried. Then he begins with that familiar deep voice that once reached millions. "You know," he says quietly, "it's easy to point fingers. It's easy to say someone else caused the problem. What's difficult is facing the truth, that these challenges belong to all of us, not just one president or one administration." The audience remains silent, listening closely. Obama's tone is firm but not harsh. He's not attacking anyone. He's reminding them of something essential. His pace is steady, each word measured, each sentence landing gently but effectively. "I won't stand here and pretend everything is perfect," he continues. It isn't. People are struggling. Prices are rising. Families are trying to keep up with bills, keep their homes, and plan for their children's future. His eyes move across the room, making it feel personal rather than political. "I've met those families," he says. "I've talked with parents working 2 jobs and still barely getting by. I've spoken with young people overwhelmed by student debt, unsure if they will ever catch a break. These aren't statistics. These are real people. These are your stories." A soft reaction ripples through the audience. Obama gives a brief pause, letting his words settle. Then he adds, "But blaming others won't lower rent. Blaming others won't bring down gas prices or help families put food on the table. What makes a difference is when leaders stop arguing and start listening." A small wave of applause rises. Obama offers a slight smile, but there's no pride in it, just conviction. "Look," he continues, "leadership isn't about taking credit when things go well and shifting blame when they don't. Real leadership is about responsibility. It's about recognizing challenges and working to solve them for everyone, not just for those who voted for you." The mood in the room begins to shift. The tension from earlier softens. The audience isn't just observing 2 people debate anymore. They're seeing 2 very different styles of leadership. Obama raises his voice just slightly, adding emotion without losing control. "These are difficult times," he says. "Inflation, high housing costs, job uncertainty. I won't deny any of it. But we've overcome tough times before. America doesn't quit when things get hard. We don't turn against each other. We move forward. We rebuild. We keep going together." The crowd bursts into applause, but Obama continues speaking without losing his momentum. "I remember when people said we couldn't recover from the financial crisis, and we did. I remember when they said millions would never get health care, but we made progress. I remember when they said this country was too divided to find common ground, and yet, we still worked toward it. Not perfectly, but collectively." Each line carries a strong rhythm, confidence mixed with empathy. Trump shifts in his seat slightly, his expression hard to read, but it's clear the tone of the room is no longer leaning his way. People are listening closely to Obama, nodding, connecting with his message. Obama's voice softens once more. "You see, this isn't about left or right. It's not about who leads now or who led in the past. It's about something bigger, Who we are as a nation. Are we the kind of people who turn on each other in difficult times? Or are we the kind who roll up our sleeves and get to work? The audience reacts again, louder this time, but Obama doesn't raise his voice. He waits patiently for the applause to fade, then continues more quietly. When I was president, he says, I didn't get everything right. No one does. But I learned something important. Progress doesn't come from noise or blame. It comes from listening, from compassion, and from the belief that no matter how hard things get, we are stronger together than divided. He pauses, letting it sink in. Then he turns slightly toward Trump and adds, and I understand it's easy to say someone else is responsible. But the truth is, every president inherits difficulties. The real question isn't who created them, it's who's willing to solve them. A collective gasp moves through the room. It's not an attack, but the message lands firmly. The audience erupts in applause, louder than before. Obama's calm delivery makes his words even sharper. He looks back at the crowd. America doesn't progress when leaders spend more time arguing than solving problems. People don't care about slogans. They care about whether their lives improve. That's where our focus should be. A woman in the front row wipes a tear. The emotion in the room is heavy but hopeful. Obama lowers his voice once more. To every family watching, to every worker trying to get by, to every young person building a future, I want you to know your story matters. You matter. And despite what you may hear, we are not as divided as some claim. There is more that connects us than separates us. The audience rises in another loud applause. Some stand, others clap slowly, taking in the message. Obama lets the moment settle, his expression calm with a slight knowing smile. Across the stage, Trump's jaw tightens. He senses the shift. The control he had in the beginning has faded. Obama has regained the room, not by shouting, but by reminding people why they once believed in something beyond politics. When the applause finally ends, Obama concludes simply, "That's what I believe. That's what I've always believed. This country is as strong as its people, and we're stronger than we think." He leans back, calm as ever. The crowd cheers again, some chanting his name. The atmosphere feels transformed, no longer tense, but energized and hopeful. And as the moment settles, a familiar voice cuts through. Trump interrupts, this time with a sharper tone, ready to start another confrontation. The calm in the room begins to crack. The audience is still reacting to Obama's message when Trump suddenly leans forward. The calm in the room shifts immediately. His face tightens, and he gives that familiar half-smile, the kind that signals he's preparing to counter. The applause hasn't fully faded, but Trump doesn't wait. He cuts in forcefully, his voice pushing through the remaining noise. You know, he begins in a sharp tone, it's interesting hearing all this talk about unity and responsibility from someone who had 8 years to fix these issues and didn't. The room grows quiet again, surprised by the abrupt interruption. The steady, thoughtful rhythm Obama had built disappears, replaced by renewed tension. Trump continues, raising his voice slightly. We wouldn't be facing these challenges if people in the past hadn't made terrible deals, weakened our borders, and let anyone enter, no matter who they are or what they bring. His words linger in the air. A few people in the crowd take a breath, already sensing the direction he's going. Trump doesn't stop. Maybe, he says slowly, emphasizing the word, some individuals simply don't belong here. Maybe they should think about going back to where they came from. A heavy silence follows. For a moment, the room seems to freeze. His comment isn't just aimed at immigrants or people who look different. It's clearly directed at Obama. It echoes an old, familiar narrative from the birther conspiracy, questioning Obama's identity and belonging. The impact is immediate. The atmosphere cools again. The host looks unsure about how to respond. Even the cameras hesitate, uncertain whether to focus on Trump's expression or Obama's composed face. Trump glances sideways, waiting for a reaction. He wants one, frustration, anger, anything he can challenge. But Obama doesn't give him that. Instead, Obama takes a quiet breath and lifts his gaze. His expression doesn't harden. It becomes more thoughtful, showing disappointment rather than anger. When he speaks, his voice is soft but carries significant weight. I've heard language like that before, he says. And every time I do, I'm reminded how quickly fear can be used to divide people. The audience starts to shift, breaking the silence. Obama continues, his tone steady and clear. This country was built by people who came from somewhere else. People searching for opportunity. My story, your story, our story, all began in different places. Some in the crowd nod, a few clap quietly. But Obama isn't seeking applause. His words sound sincere, grounded. He looks ahead as he speaks. We don't tell people they don't belong. We don't tell them to leave because of how they look or where they were born. That's not leadership. That's not strength. That's fear being presented as power. For the first time in several minutes, Trump doesn't interrupt. He sits silently, jaw set, arms folded, listening. Obama continues, his voice carrying more emotion. America's story isn't about shutting people out. It's about welcoming them in. We didn't grow stronger by closing doors. We grew stronger by opening them, by believing that anyone willing to work hard and contribute has a place here. The crowd reacts again, this time with louder applause that lasts longer. It's not just agreement. It's relief after the tension created by Trump's remarks. Trump's face remains still, offering no reaction. He's not clapping. He's not smiling. He simply sits there, watching as the audience sides with Obama once more. He waits. As the noise dies down, he leans into the microphone. Nice speech, Barack. Really nice. But let's be honest. Talking about unity doesn't fix the border. Talking about dreams doesn't pay the bills. The audience responds with a mixture of cheers and murmurs. He continues. You speak about compassion, but when you were in charge, where was it? Where was the unity then? Immigration wasn't solved. The economy wasn't fixed. You left a mess, and now I have to clean it up. He pauses, scanning the room, feeding off the reaction. Maybe if people valued this country more than wherever they came from, we wouldn't be in this situation. The comment lands sharply. The veneer of policy discussion falls away, revealing familiar contempt. Obama remains calm, but a subtle flicker in his eyes betrays tension. He breathes deeply, then responds with measured clarity. Respect isn't shown by insults. It's shown by how you treat those who can't fight back. The audience erupts. Trump opens his mouth, but the response dies in the crowd's roar. Obama continues, voice firm. When you tell people to leave their country, question their worth, or divide Americans by origin, that doesn't make America great. That makes it smaller. Applause rises like a wave. Obama looks directly at Trump. The strength of this nation isn't the loudest voice. It's in the quiet courage of people who work hard, raise their children, and believe this country belongs to them. Trump hesitates, smirk fading, caught off guard. Obama lets the pause linger, then adds softly. You can mock me, question my birthplace, who I am, or what I believe, but you cannot erase what I represent. Millions of Americans who refuse to give up on this country. The words resonate through the studio. Not a shout, not a speech, a statement. The energy has shifted. Trump scans the audience, now observing him differently. Some look uneasy, some silent. The momentum is no longer his. Obama sits, calm, composed. The storm has passed. Yet Trump, pride burning, is ready to respond. The tension thickens, the audience sensing a sharp comeback. Trump launches his harshest remarks yet, questioning Obama's place, trying to regain the spotlight. Obama remains steady, hands loosely clasped, letting the silence speak. The audience leans in. You know, Obama says, even-toned, when people can't dispute your record, they attack your identity. When they can't question your work, they question your worth. The room quiets. Every word lands. He looks at Trump. Donald, I've endured worse than insults about my birthplace. You can question where I was born, my name, my faith, but never my love for this country. Applause builds. His confidence grows. Every child watching deserves to know they belong, no matter who says otherwise. Trump forces a smile, jaw tightening, eyes locked on Obama. Obama addresses the audience, tone softening. The people we lead are tired. They work hard, struggle to make ends meet, and want hope, not hate. They want honesty, not excuses. They want leaders who do not wield division as a weapon. Applause rises steadily, a rhythm of agreement. Then Obama pivots. Sharper now. You talk about family values, Donald. What does that truly mean to you? Trump, flicker of amusement, replies lightly, family, love, loyalty, things some people don't understand. Obama leans forward, cold but calm. I remember interviews where you said unusual things about your daughter, Ivanka. A low gasp ripples through the audience. Trump's smirk falters. You once said, if Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her. You thought that was funny? The crowd laughs nervously. Trump's expression hardens. A joke, he protests. Obama's voice sharpens. Words matter, Donald. Especially when spoken by a president. When your words make people question your respect for women, even your own daughter, that's not leadership. That's weakness disguised as charm. The room goes silent, rapt. Trump reddens, gripping the table. Making America great again isn't about arrogance. It's about respect, for your people, your family, your country. Trump laughs defensively. Respect? I've built more for this country than you ever did. Obama tilts his head. You don't know my family. True. But a man's words reveal his values. A pause. Then, quietly, Obama asks, who gave birth to Barron? Trump is momentarily stunned. Disbelief spreads across his face. Obama remains calm. You've questioned my birth, my identity, my belonging. I'm just asking if you'd answer the same kind of question yourself. The crowd gasps. Trump forces a laugh. I don't answer nonsense like that. And maybe the real problem is inviting guests not born in the U.S. The jab lands, desperate, cruel. Tension rises. Obama nods subtly, recognizing the mask has slipped. Trump exits abruptly, citing an important call. The host pleads, but Trump leaves. Silence fills the room. Cameras follow him briefly, then cut back to Obama, seated, calm, composed. He addresses the audience. This is what leadership looks like when it forgets humanity. Power without principle fails the people. We need leaders accountable for jobs, homes, and faith in our system. A hush falls over the audience. Obama's words carry deep weight. Tonight wasn't about winning an argument. It was a reminder. Words matter. The way we speak defines our country. He continues, firm and reflective. When insulted, you have a choice. Meet anger with anger or rise above it. Rising above doesn't mean silence. It means standing tall without losing your humanity. He looks into the camera. I know life is hard. Prices are high. People struggle to survive. Frustration isn't an excuse for hate. It's a call to action. The audience hums in agreement. Blame doesn't build. Responsibility does. Respect builds. America's greatness comes not from tearing others down, but lifting each other up. When one rises, we all rise. Applause grows. A wave of recognition. Obama continues. Don't let bitterness decide your beliefs. Don't let noise drown compassion. That empty seat isn't just absence. It's a lesson in accountability. He leans back, reflective. People will disappoint. Anger fades. Pride fades. Character remains. Next time someone tries to divide you, remember. Anger burns out quickly. Truth lasts. The room feels united, thoughtful. Our children are watching. Respect is earned, not demanded. Greatness isn't wealth or fame. It's humility, compassion, and courage to do right, even when hard. The crowd stands, applause echoing like thunder. Some cheer, others clap quietly, all moved. Obama smiles faintly. Lights soften. The moment feels final, yet like a beginning. A reminder. The fight for integrity never ends. When shouting stops, the voice that remains calm, steady, and true, that's the one history remembers.